Guys, check this out. I have this combo system here from HobbyWing, brushless system combo. I'm not sure where I'm going to put this, but let's open it up and, take a look and see what's going on in there. I'm trying the different systems, to see what rig they can fit in, where I can use them. I decided to try this combo and see what we can do with it. So I'm very curious to see where this combo going to fit, Nice packaging, pretty cool. Check this out. You get ESC here and motor over here. So let's take a look inside this and see what we got going on here. Package pretty nice, huh? Come in a nice foam cutout case. Pretty cool. And you got extra plug at the back here. And you got the manual to tell you what's going on. Let's get this out. So that's HobbyWing Mini24. Oh, we also get another piece of lead right here. Okay, so this is pretty tiny. Not bad. Nice setup, conformal coating all over it, so it is waterproof. So that's the Mini24 from HobbyWing. All right, pretty cool. Let's check out the motor and see what's going on here. Motor pretty small. Get your manual back here, and that's all in this case. So that's the combo, guys. All right, so this is where your motor, you can see the wires match up and all that. This is for your battery right here. This is for your receiver. Guys, I found a place to put the Outrunner 1621 with the Mini24. So I'm going to put this inside my Ascent 18. So this one is still stock. I'm going to put that in there. And on top of that, guys, I have a bunch of parts that I bought a while ago. So we are going to transform this vehicle. So we got this diff covers here. We also have a wheel hex brass. We got some steel transmission gears here. We have portal box, outer width machine edge. And here we got inner portal hex box. And this one is servo holder. So we got quite a few parts here, guys. And this is your front links, steering link, and rear links. Servo horn, and here we have shock bodies. So the last one is center case plate. So we have all these pieces that we're gonna put on this truck. So we're gonna scrap it. Basically, we're changing everything, guys. We're gonna put this truck in a red frame, you know what I mean? So we're moving out all electronics, guys, and we're gonna set this truck up. So let me show you how we're getting this done. Before I start stripping these things off, I just want to show you the difference in the motor. You see how small this motor is here, guys? See how small that is? This is amazing how small it is. And look how small the ESC is to the ESC here. Pretty small. So that would take off a lot of weight on this truck. And man, I can't wait to put this together to show you guys. So guys, this is the original Ascent motor. And here is our HobbyWing motor. And it didn't come with any pinion gear. So I'm trying to remove this pinion gear here to put on this one. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to attempt to use the pliers to hold it at the bottom here, like so. And I'm going to try to take my screwdriver and pry underneath and see what happens, if it's going to come off. It's coming out so easy, it's not funny. Look at that. See how far you get? That was easier than I thought, guys. So we just have to pry this up. Whoa, that's it. Simple like that. And I could see why it comes out so easy, because this one is plastic. It's got a flat side on this motor here, but this one just got some grooves. So let's see if he's gonna go in there. Wow, guys, he went in. He went in pretty easy too. But the thing is, we'll have to glue this because it's spinning. All right, so I'm gonna line this up on the gearbox to make sure that everything is lined up good before I glue this. Well, that wasn't too bad, guys. So let's start popping off the electronics from this Ascent 18 here. And this is pretty simple to remove, Pull this servo off. This one is for the motor, and our ESC and receiver is off. So now we're going to get the gearbox out. Just have to flip this over. Got 4 screws underneath here that we got to remove. Pretty simple and easy. So the gearbox and the motor is off. So we have 4 screws all along this gearbox. We're going to remove them. So to get that gearbox to open up, guys, I'm going to leave 1 screw in, and I'm going to take off the dry shaft because the dry shaft needs to come out so we can pull this piece of casing off here. And the dry shaft hold down by, I think it's a Phillip head screw. I'm going to remove that. So now we can remove this other screw on the gearbox. And there we go. So inside the gearbox is all plastic gears. So I'm thinking we're going to put all metal gears inside here because we have the metal gears. So we're going to put metal inside this gearbox. But again, I'm thinking, do I really want to do that? Because on the motor right here, we got plastic. So I think I'm going to leave plastic for now. So we have to remove this other piece of dry shaft to get all the gears out. I like to put the screws back so I don't lose them, you know. So I put the 2 screws on the dry shaft to make sure that I don't misplace them. So now I can remove these gears. Alright guys, so just like that. And then we got 2 screws holding on this motor in here. Gonna remove that. Alright, so we out. Let's check out this little motor here and see. It's not bad. Everything looking pretty cool there. Guys, to get the whole line up, it's a bit difficult, you know, to sit down in there to get that whole line up good. It's a bit of a work to really get that in there, but we're gonna try. And of course, the whole job is to get it in there, no matter how difficult it is, you know. So the screws, the original screws is lining up. You don't have to worry about that. So long as you get 1 screw catch in there, then you can line up the other one. So we got 1 screw down. So I'm gonna take my pick and just make sure, yeah, we're good. The other one is lined up perfect. I can see the piece of metal coming through. So you got several different holes, I guess, based on what vehicle you have, you know, so you don't have to worry much about if it's gonna work. And the original screws is working perfect. So I'm putting this screws in, and then I'm gonna put the gears in to make sure that I get the pinion gear lined up perfect. And when that is the way that I want it, I'm going to pull out the pinion gear and I'm going to put some glue on it. I'm using the glue that we use for tires. All right, so everything is sitting nice there. Going to put this one in here first. There we go. Perfect. So this is sitting on pretty good there. I don't think I need to put the rest inside. I can remove this now and put some glue on the pinion gear or on the shaft and just push it back in there. I'm thinking I'm not going to remove the motor anymore. I'm just going to remove the pinion gear. Oh. Come out easy, guys. All right, so now this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drop some glue inside here. All right, so this is what I'm doing. I'm taking my pick and I'm gonna put down in the glue. So I don't want too much. And I'm gonna get this little pinion gear and I'm gonna push this like so. So we got enough glue in there. So as that go over the shaft, I know it's gonna hold it pretty nice, you know. Let's get this pinion gear over the shaft. Right there. That's it. That lock in there now. So let's drop this gear. Yep, everything is nice and smooth there. Yeah, we're nice and flush. So I can work with this. All right, so I'm gonna take this off. Just gonna make sure I tighten the screw for the motor a little bit more. I'm just going pretty snug here. All right, so I'm gonna put the gears back in. Then we're gonna put this piece back just like that. So I like to double check that everything working smooth before I close up this gearbox, and everything seems to be turning pretty smooth. So because the pinion gear is plastic, I have all the metal gears to put in here, but I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to leave the plastic. All right, so time to close up this gearbox, guys. That was pretty easy and simple to deal with. That's it. The shaft is moving. All right, so time to pop the screws back in here. Now I did use my drill to remove these screws, but I'm not going to do it to put it back because I don't want to thread the threads out. You know, this is plastic, so I'm going to use the screwdriver. I'm just pulling the screws in them just snug. I'm not over tightening. So just when it stop, I give that little extra turn, but I'm not forcing it. All right, that's it. And just double check everyone is nice and snug. Guys, I'm putting back up the dry shafts on the gearbox. Dry shaft is back, and now what we're gonna do, we're gonna move on to the vehicle. We're gonna start taking off all the arms and stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the wheels, trying to make things easy as possible here and trying to do this clean. So we're gonna pull off these wheels on them because we're changing the outside casing of the axle right here. So now I'm gonna go ahead and remove these arms here. And then what we're going to do is remove the shock. So to make things easy, guys, to remember where things comes off, you're going to put the screws back in here so you don't forget which screws is going where. Just push them back in there like that. And now we're going to remove the shocks. So you look like I have a nut on the other side here. All right, so we get one of the differential off. So we have to pop the shocks off. There is no screw hole in it. And RedCat realized that and they changed it on the Scout too. makes it very hard for this to come out. If you don't carefully, you can break stuff, you know. See how difficult it is to come out, guys? There we go. See, I almost ruined the plastic. Gonna do the same thing over here. Just trying to bend the shocks out. Okay, that was easier. And then you can unscrew this piece here to remove the arm. So it's a real kind of design that is not too cool, you know. There we go. Arm is out. Do the same thing on this side. Alright, so we get the arm out. So guys, we're just gonna change the portal cover. Let's get a piece of this and just change this out one time as we're here. That's the only thing we have to do on the back differential. Just remove this covering and put this one. Pretty simple. It's no big deal here. 2 screws holding it down. Pretty easy, guys. Very little grease in there, so I think I'm gonna put some grease in here. So I got this pretty thick grease. I tell you, it's thick, it's really thick, guys. So all I'm gonna do, take a portion, just gonna put right here. So I'm doing that so if water get in there, it's not gonna rust the bearing. All right, so that's all I'm gonna put. That's it, pretty easy. The hardest part of this job is the time that it takes to put everything together. You gotta take your time. You can't be rushing this, you know. I'm not gonna pull the screws all the way with the electric screwdriver. I'm using my hand to pull this because you don't want to strip the thread out, you know. All right, that's it. Make sure you lock down pretty good. So any water try to get in there, this grease will keep it out, you know. All right, so we just add some style to our portal axle. I'm gonna get the rest of the shocks out. It's got nut in the back there. I keep forgetting that. This is why I don't use the electric driver to pull these things out, you know. First of all, I went forward so that could ruin the threads, you know what I mean. So this is what I'm gonna do. Use the pliers just to loosen it, and then we could easily take it off. They lock down pretty tight, guys. Just gonna hold it with the pliers, and now I can turn that off. There we go. Okay, we got the nut off, and just pull the shocks. Do the same thing with this one. Hold it with the pliers. Next step, we're gonna remove these screws here. So we're just gonna put everything on the ground and walk on it. To deal with, just a couple screws, you know. Alright, so the chassis is by itself. We're gonna put back these screws. So remember where the screws come out. I think this is the hardest part. If you remove the screws and you don't remember where they're going back, you'll be having a tough time. So just push them back in place and make life easy, you know. Alright, so the chassis is by itself. Now we are going to deal with this right here. You know, I never had a problem with RedCat servos, guys. The servos always work good. Never had a problem. Alright, we're gonna drop these arms. Now I gotta tell you, when you're doing so much work unscrewing stuff, it makes sense to have one of those screwdrivers, you know, those electric screwdrivers, because your hand can get real tired by trying to spin all the screws out, you know. I just pop this back in there, and now let's see if we can just push this off without damaging. There we go. A little W40 would have helped it even better. Let's do the same thing with this one. That one is easier. So guys, we're removing everything on this portal axle. We're taking out all the servo horn and everything, and we're removing the servo. We put in a metal bracket to hold up the servo, so much stronger. Get this arm off. Pretty tight in there, guys. Okay, so let's get that off. Let's take this one off here. Alright, this arm is off, steering arm is off. Take this off on the steering servo. Remove all these pieces here. Alright, what else we gotta remove here? We gotta take off this servo. We're changing the bracket, gonna remove this here. Alright, so this arm, what hold up this servo, we're gonna put this new one in. It's called servo holder. Gonna put this new servo holder in, so I'm gonna take this off right here. Alright, this gotta go. We'll put the new one in. Pretty cool. That's it down there. Pretty nice, guys. Gotta put the screws back. And then we're gonna untighten it. I never had a problem with the original servo, the stock servo, so I'm not gonna change it. Alright, so we locked down pretty tight, good to go there. And now we're gonna put it back up. We're not gonna leave it hanging for any minute, so we know everything comes out, yeah? All right, simple like that. We got this long screw here. Gonna push this back, keep that in place. And on the front here, we got one screw would come in right there. All right, so we're good to go. We got metal holder bracket for the servo. All right, so the next step now, what we're gonna do here is go in the portal in this box, isn't it, and change the whole thing. We got the outer and the inner, so we're gonna change that. They put Philip screws at the bottom here, guys. I don't understand this, but it's got Philip holding on this portal. And then we just pull this out, simple like that. So before I go any further, I just realized I missed one step. So I have to remove this again. I forgot to put the portal cover. So I'm gonna take that off and just pull the screw out from the back here. Drop the servo, and we're gonna drop this screw right here. Pull this cover off. We're gonna put some grease in the new cover. That's it. All right, so we're good to go. So now we're just gonna pop the servo back on. I still miss one step, guys. I have to pull back out that screw. The servo holder is coming right here, and this screw is holding down the servo holder right there. All right, we're good. And then we're gonna put that long screw at the back here so we remember that's where it stays. All right, so now we're gonna deal with one portal first. All right, so let's get this stuff out of the bag. Pretty hefty, guys. So the outer portal box did not mark left or right, but the inner part, we have right and we have left. And any piece can fit anywhere in these two. You can go on the right, you can go on the left. But we have left and right here. All right, so this side, the servo will be sitting this way. So we're dealing with the right side. So we just gotta scrap this down. 4 screws on the outside. Pretty easy, guys, and simple to deal with. All right, so let's drop this one here for now, and let's deal with the inner part. I'm gonna remove these 2 screws at the back here. These 2 screws are much smaller. Pull this bearing off. All right, so the gear come off. So this will be going that way. It's pretty tight. I'm gonna put a little bit of grease around here. Make sure everything get inside is smooth and we don't damage anything, you know. Get some around the bearing so we can get it to slide in pretty easy. All right, let's try this again. Whoa, that's it. All it needed was a little bit of grease, guys. And now we can put back the gear. Gotta make sure that gear sit down good over this piece of shaft. Get that little pin right here. We want to make sure that pin is in the center so this gear can go over it. All right, good. There we go. Sit down inside. Perfect, guys. All right, good to go. So you know I'm going to put some grease in there. So now we need to remove this piece right here. Let's get that off. Take off this pin. Push this forward. We need the bearings from this stuff. We gotta get the bearing off so we can put it inside here. I'm gonna push from the back here. All right, we got one bearing off. That's the bigger one. Get a little bit of grease in here. Want to make sure that bearing going is smooth. Nice. And let's get this one out. Oh, there we go. So we're gonna drop a bit of grease in there again. And now we're gonna drop the bearing inside. It's pretty tight to get in there. Just gotta be careful that we don't ruin it, you know. Okay, we got it. All right, so that's about it. Put a little bit of grease in there. We got this gear, so we're pushing it here, just like that. And it's gonna be sitting like so. Yeah, everything seems to be smooth. All right, so now 2 screws at the back here. Then the small screws is coming at the back. And I'm gonna pull it with my hand. Now that's the idea with these things, you know, you don't pull it with the driver. You don't wanna mess up anything. And you know what's so cool? The screw is pulling the bearing down in place. All right, that's it. And on the outer side here, we got these screws that we just have to drop in there. 4 screws on the outside. I feel like I missed something, guys, because I see a bearing hanging out here. So I'm gonna go back in here to make sure, yeah, that bearing is coming right there. Wow, that was close. You know, you put all the stuff together and you leave something out you don't feel as good at. So just double check, make sure. And guys, I gotta tell you, I'm doing all this here with a magnifying glass on my head. I'm not just doing that just like that, you know. They give a lot of trouble because they're so small. See how much trouble it's giving to come out. So having a magnifying glass in your eye really helps to see what's going on. There we go. All right, so we're gonna drop this one right in there. All right, so I got it in, and let's drop a little more grease in here. That's about it. And now we can put the rest of the stuff in here. I want to make sure I get this one sit down pretty good over the spline. Yeah, that piece of pin looked like it's off, so I need to get that in the middle so the gear can go and sit down over it. So that's the things that you got to check on, you know. Make sure you get everything flush. There you go. See, go down and sit down. Nice. All right, so we flush. So now you can put everything back together. All right, it's gonna be a little bit messy with all this grease, so make sure you have paper towel on hand. So now guys, we can put the rest of the screws on this portal here. So you know guys, when I put all this grease inside there and I lock down this portal here, I'm not going back in there for any reason, you know. So I put enough grease, I know everything is nice and dandy in there. All right, so we're good to go. Pretty heavy. So now the front wheel got a lot of weight in front of it. All right, so we got one side finish. Now what we got to do is put this back up one time. We're not going to waste any time with it. And we have grease up here, grease in here. It's not going to have to put just a little bit right there. So I'm just cleaning up any extra on the outside. All right, so we could send this in there now. Just going to spin it around so you can catch itself. There we go. Nice. See the difference already, guys? Pretty cool. All right, so let's drop the screws to hold this axle up. Yeah, guys, I can feel the weight on one side. Pretty heavy. I don't know why they put Phillips screws here, guys, but they did. All right, that's pretty tight, so we gotta lose this screw a bit. There we go. All right, not bad. That's good enough for me. All right, so check out the difference. So we also got some wheel hex. We are not going to put back the plastic ones. We're going to put this brass. So I'm going to leave those for last when I'm putting up the wheels and stuff. Get that pin over here, and we're going to go ahead and do the other side. So this last one was pretty easy. Got a little bit of rust going on here. Just gonna wipe that off, clean up the bearings. All right, so you know the drill, guys. Put a little bit of grease. Make sure that bearing can go inside there smooth, you know. We get one inside. This little one up here. It's giving a bit of a tight spot. Let's try this again. All right, much easier. Drop a little bit of grease. And now I'm gonna put some grease in here. We got one more bearing to drop inside here. Okay, so we sit down pretty good there. So we got all the bearing inside. Now we just have to push this one from the other side. Put a little grease around it. This one is going in here. All right, let's see how easy it's gonna go in there. Whoa, that was easy. Okay, we're good to go there. And I'm gonna put those small screws back. It's easier to put the screw on the screwdriver and get it back in there. All right, so we're good to go. Let me just center this piece of metal there. And now we're gonna put some grease. But before I put the grease, I'm gonna get this down here. Make sure this gear sit down good. All right, so that piece of pin is a little bit off. All right, there we go. I got it. Let's get some grease in there. This is more than enough for everything. And I'm gonna push the shaft out, so. And now I'm gonna put everything back together. There we go. Time to get the screws in there, guys. These portal covers and them feel real nice, guys. Got a really nice weight, you know. All right, we got it back together. Let's put this portal up. So I just dip it in the grease this time and just gonna push it in there. So now we just have to spin this around. All right, we got it. Gonna wipe this grease off here. So I'm thinking, guys, seems as we go in metal into metal now, I would have to put some thread lock on these screws. We don't want the screws go running out, you know. Okay, so we got one. We're gonna do the other one. And I keep forgetting is Phillip head screws that I have here. And I'm gonna remove those here so I can drop some thread lock on these screws here. Alright, we're good. So we got our first portal axle up with our brass on the in and outer. Pretty cool. So I think, now that I think about it, I did not buy brass for the back because I wanted the back lighter, but in time maybe I will. Yeah, the front pretty heavy now, guys. Yeah, pretty heavy. Back is light, front is heavy. Alright, so we're good to go here. Portal is finished. I think I'm gonna go inside here and put some grease in the portal in the back. So let's open up this one and put some grease in it. Alright, we don't have to do much here. We just have to put the grease in there and close it back up. That's all we gotta do here, guys. And this grease gonna go all over. Alright, one side is good. Alright, let's do the other side. Alright, so we got all the portals well greased up. We're good to go. Now, guys, we're gonna put on the center skid aluminum piece. Alright, so let's remove those screws here. So the cool thing about this piece here, you have a left and a right side. You will definitely understand it when you remove it. So just so I pull it out like this, let's see if they do it on this side here. Okay, the only mark on the skid plate right here. There's an R right there. So now this is going back. You know, there is no special way this would go. This can go anyhow. I'm trying to get one screw inside here, guys. Alright, we got one. Now from there, it'll be a lot easier. Not bad. Alright, pretty cool. So now all we gotta do is put back the screws, what we remove. So in the meantime, I'm gonna leave the screws on here. Let me see if anything else missing there. There's one, two, we're good to go here. I'm gonna leave the screws on this one still for when I put it on the arms and stuff. Alright, so we're on our way, guys. Check this out, guys. I turned the portal in them wrong. I put them at the back. So now I have to take them out and put them at the front. So those are little things you have to look out for when you're putting these things together, you know. So now I'm about to put in the steering arm. I realize all the portal turned wrong. So simple. Just pull them out. Put left on right and right on left. This is what I did here. So I just had to switch them over and we'll be good to go. Oh man. This is not funny. Guys, these little things take a lot of work to get it together. Very time consuming. So I think I'm gonna put some more thread seal on this. Alright, so we get it the right way now. Alright guys, let's put on the steering link. Now we have to put all the little pivot joints inside of it. We got some little O-rings. So this would be coming like that. Yo, this just went straight through. So it look like this little rings here is to hold this. We have to put one on each side and it cut. It just busts so easy. That don't look into nice. So we have to get one of this ring over this thing. So I'm trying to find some kind of technique to get this rubber band over this thing. Alright, so I put one over. Let's see. What's the deal here? Oh yeah, that's basically to hold it in place, you know, guys. Wow, that is some kind of technique. I wasn't expecting that. I thought I had to press this in, you know. Yeah, and this one looked like it's busting already. Oh, so let's try another one. But they only give us 4, guys. So we're going to have to use that one. That technique here is not, I'm not liking this. The rubber band is really easy to bust, you know. And this thing here is pretty sharp. So when you try to get this over it, you want to cut it, you know. All right, let's see how this is gonna go. Okay, that one was a lot easier. Yeah, but that is not cool. I don't really like this. Yeah, to put this little rubber bands to hold the stuff. Yeah, that's not too cool. Yeah, and this one already busting, guys, because the metal's so sharp, you know. That is not the best technique here. Yeah, that was not the best way to go. I don't like this. Yeah, just that holding this thing together, you know. Okay, I got some rubber bands here, and trust me, they look stronger than what RedCat provides. So I'm gonna try this thick one and see how that work. Yeah, that make that arm pretty loose, you know. So let's try this one. This one a little bit thicker, should be stronger. I'm gonna remove this one already busting, so I'm gonna take off that one. This one is much tighter, much thicker. Yeah, there we go. This will do a better job, much better. Yep. I'm not sure if I'm going too thick, but I'm trying this one, and I'm gonna remove this other one here. So when you're dealing with RC stuff, guys, it's always good to have these things, you know. Some of it is pretty tight, guys. So guys, I end up going for this one here. Get that one, it's a little too broad for two to stay. So try a thinner one. All right, much easier, and I feel like it feels a little stronger than this one, you know. And I'm just going to remove those here. Those feel very flimsy. All right, much better. All right, I got it. There we go. All right, so let's put this arm together. Got this long screw here. Push this like so. I think this one have to come in the middle. This one going in the middle here, like that. And then we take this screw, put this there. All right, so now I can put the steering arm on the servo horn now. Wow, this feels so tight and firm now, guys. Man, guys, it feels pretty sturdy and strong. So we're using the original steering arm here because at the time they didn't have this one in red, neither in silver, so you have to use the original one. I bought all the pieces I think I could have get in red. Guys, to deal with any rust, just spray a little W40 on the toothbrush, and then you just scrub the pot. You get rid of any rust or any buildup. We're taking out all the rust inside of the shocks, just a little bit of W40, and that remove everything. All right, simple like that, guys. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put on the front links. We are not going to use this little rubber bands because I don't have the confidence that this rubber band's gonna hold up, you know. So I use my own bands. So it's always cool to have these things around, you know, to have your rubber bands and screws and stuff. You need all this stuff around when you're tinkering with RCs. So if I didn't have that rubber band, guys, I had no choice but to deal with these flimsy ones, you know. All right, let's put these arms and them together. It's not difficult at all, guys. Just getting the rubber band over this little bush in here and you're good to go. That's it. A little pick like this always help, eh? When you don't have this little fine tools in them, can be a lot of headache. All right, so we got it on. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest. So guys, I went ahead and set up all the links. So now we're ready to go. All right, so I'm going to put the front ones on first. So the upper links is a shorter one, which is right here. I'm going to back off this screw. So now we're going to move on to put on the bottom links. I gotta say, guys, everything is coming together nice and easy, you know. All right, so we're good to go with these links. Now we're gonna put in the links at the back, on the back differential. Guys, all the links at the back is the same size. One is not longer than one, so we don't have to worry about that. So let's hook up the back differential with the arms. So now the arms, those two arms right here, they're coming on the outside like so. So we're gonna pull the screws out here. That's the beauty of putting the screws back when you remove them, so you don't have to go searching for the screws, you know. All right, pretty cool there. We'll do the other side. Remove that screw. Okay, that's it. And now we can just flip this over like so, and this would come right there. And we got the screws here, so we just gotta pull out the screws. That was the reason for leaving it on this piece of plastic, you know, on the belly, so I know exactly where they're going. Pretty easy and simple, guys, coming together. All right, so we're good to go with the back one. All we gotta do is put the shocks up now. So we're gonna put the shocks right here. We're gonna clip that inside so to get a pretty good push, you know. Not simple to get in there, guys. It's tough, it's tight. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to push it with something. Let's see. Let's try the pliers again to hold the plastic and try to get it in there. All right, that was good, not bad. Let's do the other one. So hold it with the pliers. There we go. All right, let's get the shocks inside. Easy like that. And we have this little lock nut. And all I do, I just hold it with the pliers, tighten it. All right, so that locked down pretty good there. Now we're gonna do the other one. And we put another lock nut on it. So this time, what I'm gonna do here, just hold the lock nut and tighten from this end. All right, there we go. So guys, let's put on the front differential. All right guys, so we're coming along pretty nice. We're almost there. So now we have these screws that we left on the belly right here. We're gonna remove those. All right, let's get this last two links up. All right, we're looking good there, guys. And now we're gonna put on the shocks for the front. Now I find the easiest way to get the shocks on is to hold it with the pliers. That seems to give it a good force to get in there, you know? All right, not bad. All right, we did it. So we're pushing the shocks right to the back here, right there. So we put the back shocks this way, front shocks that way. So you keep it pretty low. There's two little nuts right here. I'm gonna put in the back of the screw. And I'm just gonna hold this with the pliers so I can get some leverage. All right, that's it. Now we move to the other side. Drop the shocks all the way back again. Make sure I get my silver wire inside here and put the shocks on the last hole at the back. Get that little nut, put that on there. All right, so we got our shocks on, guys. Nice. So the next step now is to put the motor in. So guys, the motor would be sitting backwards, and let's put in the dry shaft one time so we don't set the motor down and we end up in problems to get the dry shaft in there. All right, so the dry shaft, one dry shaft is in. Let's do the other one. All right, perfect. So now we can sit down the gearbox. Nice. And we left the screws on the belly. So we're just gonna remove the screws and put them over here. All right, so we get the gearbox and the motor up. Now we're gonna put the ESC back here and we're gonna test everything before we put the wheels on. So guys, I removed the plug. This is what it comes with for the battery, and I don't have this kind of plugs, so I remove it. And I'm gonna put this one on. So just gonna wrap this wire around here, and then I'm gonna put some solder on these wires. All right, let's get some solder on these wires. That's all it takes, guys. Pretty simple and easy. And now I'm just gonna run the shrink wrap over it. But first I'm gonna bend this wire like so. So to make it even more thicker, so we have a better bind, so the shrink wrap can hold much better. I just bend the wire and pull this over like that. Do the same thing here. Just gonna bend it just like that. Push this over. We take the hot iron and just pass over it just like that. Shrink wrap is pretty easy to melt. That's it. Guys, this is a receiver that I'm using. It's a FlySky FSBS6, a 6-channel receiver. And I already put the bind plug on. So we're gonna plug this on to the motor, and we're gonna take this right here and put on number 2. So that's the ESC on number 2. And we're gonna take the servo, I'm gonna put that on number 1. All right, so we're all set up there. Now we just gotta put the battery in. Okay, my battery is on, and we're using this controller here, FlySky GT5 controller. So we're gonna turn this on. We set it on number 14. So now we're gonna turn on the power on the ESC. All right, we got power, we got blinking lights. We're gonna hold on the bind button and turn on the radio. Okay, it's bind. Simple like that, guys. The motor is moving. Nice. All right, so we got vibes. So now we can put on the wheel and show you how it functions. Guys, we're about to put on the brass wheel hex. I think that's the last thing we're using from the RedCat. We're not putting on the metal servo horn and the metal gears for the gearbox. We're just gonna put in the hex, and then we got some new wheels that we're gonna put on, and that will complete the build, guys. I already clean it up, make everything sit nice and neat in there, you know. So right now all we gotta do is put the hex on. So pull this ones off here and just push this one in. We got 2 pins on the end here for the front. All right, simple like that. The hex is going up. Pull the back one off. All right, so we get this hex in. Got the last one to put in, guys. All right, we finally got it in, guys. So now we're gonna move on to set up this beadlock wheels and tires, and then we're gonna put this on and we're gonna show you how it functions. So we're going for the red theme, you know, all red. We got all the hardware to put this together. This wheel here will be smaller than the original, and I'm gonna show you guys the original compared to this beadlock wheels here. So this is the original wheel. This one's a bit smaller. All right, so let's start setting up these wheels. Guys, I want to show you how to put on these wheels on these tires. I already did 3, and we have the last one to go. This wheels and tires is very troublesome to put on. So here's what I find makes it very easy. You remove the face from here and you put it back here. Somehow it just makes things easy. I don't know if because back here being sitting on the face of the rim, it holds shape better. But when you do this other side, like you put this back here, somehow it just give a lot of trouble. So I'm gonna put this here and somehow it sit down real good and it lock down pretty easy. Take me a while to understand this, and this is not my first set of rim that I have from this type of rim. I have a couple of these rims, but just take me a minute to get this, you know. All right, so here what I do, I take my pick and I push down in one of the holes just like that, and I just press the rim to lock the tire, and then I get my screws. So the screws you're going to be using here is a very short one. The long one will be holding on the hex, and I push down like this and I just catch it, and then I move on to the next one. All I'm doing, I'm just catching them and I keep going around, and I find it makes it very easy to put the rim on. All right, so I get 4 of the screws locked down. I have the last one to go. All right, and then I double check to make sure that everything's sitting good. And then what I does here, I take my time and I go around locking the rim. So I just keep going around and around, and I'm just taking the turn where you stop, I move on to the next one. That way the tire get locked in on the rim even, because if you don't do that, guys, somehow it just popping off, you know. The hole is very, very close to the rim. It would have been nice if the tire hole was smaller or the rim was a little bit wider, but yeah, very close, so it makes it very easy to just pop out, you know. So I find the easiest way, just go around just like this, nice and easy. Alright, that's it, guys. The rim get locked down pretty cool. So all we gotta do now is put the hex on, drop this at the back here like so. I just take my pick to line it up, get this line up like that, take a screw. So the long screws is what holding on the hex. So in all the tires and rim that I put on, guys, this one is the easiest one. All the rest give a bunch of headache until I come to the understanding that just move the face of the rim to the other side and it'll be a lot easier to deal with. I think because the face has been sitting on one side, it keep the shape, you know. Yeah, the circumference of this rim and the tire very, very close. And I'm not putting any screwdrivers on this. Okay, this aluminum screw is very easy to bust. So I'm just hand tightening this as they stop. That's it. Just double checking everyone. All right, we're good to go. So now I'm gonna put this up on the truck and show you guys. Check it out, guys. So I got one more thing I want to show you guys here. I'm putting rubber band over the shocks so the front don't come up. So let's get some light over here. So I'm trying to get that rubber band over the shocks right there, and then gonna pull this up on the top like so, and that will keep it down so the front wouldn't lift up. So I'm putting 2 only at the front. So just stretch your rubber band get it between the shocks. There we go. Now just pull it over just like that. So this one is not extremely tight, so you have a little bit of play, you know, still, but it holds it down somewhat. So check this out, guys. What's a cool trick I come up with? The rubber band going to hold down the battery on top and hold on the shocks at the same time. Pretty cool. And we can just plug in our battery right there and turn on our radio. Power. Nice. So you notice we're going backwards, guys. So I have to change the forward position on this transmitter. Reverse is forward, forward is reverse. So I'm going to change this. So here's how I'm changing it, guys. Go in here. And this is steering. Steering change. We want it this way. So we're going one more to two. And we're going over here. And then we change it. Press this. And now when we pull forward, the vehicle is going forward. Nice. Reverse. Nice. Alright, so all we gotta do now is throw the body on and show you how it performs. Alright guys, let me show you how it's crawling up these tires. See how slow it's going? Can go really slow and it's quiet, guys. The Mini24 is pretty quiet. I'll slow it down even more. I'm gonna hold it right there and let it do its thing. Check this out, guys. Pretty cool, huh? Nice. All right, let's bring it back down. Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna put some more on one side here. Let's see how it's gonna climb up this, how high it's gonna go. All right, let's check this out. I think I'll have to hold this tire right here. Awesome. See this? Pretty cool. Let's see if he's gonna come down without falling. Wow, nice and slow, guys. Check this out, man. It's amazing. Yo. see this Ascent perform, guys? Check this out. Nice. Yeah, the low speed control is awesome. I like it. So the tires and the rim rails stick out a lot, give you that wide span, you know. So guys, let me know what you all think about the build. Pretty nice, you know. The red accent look good. Cool. I'm really amazed with this HobbyWing Mini24 and the Outrunner 1621. Real nice. I like it, guys. Trust me. I like it. And I'm keeping it stock, the settings, and I'm going to run it that way and see. And then I'll do some changes if I need to. But for now, everything is cool. I like it. Let's do a little speed run for you guys. See how fast it's going. The reverse is much slower, so we can turn up the reverse if we need to. Pretty cool. The front is extremely heavy, guys, with the battery up front and the portal outer casing and stuff. Pretty heavy. The back, it's not that heavy.